The Blessman welcome on a top 10 recruit in 2023, a five-star and one of the best players out there, Simeon Wilcher. How you doing, man?
How you doing? I'm doing good.
Pretty good. Let's kind of talk about this because last time you came on, we interviewed, you weren't ranked yet. All these offers hadn't completely come in yet, but you're sitting here now. You have offers like KU. You have all these top schools. You're top 10 player officially. Take us through what it feels like to be in your shoes right now.
Uh, in my shoes right now, it's pretty good. Because I'm kind of living my dream. Not all the way, but
Hmm.
I'm living what like when I started playing basketball, what I always wanted to do. Um, being in the position I am now, and knowing that I could always get better to get to my main goal, which is playing in the league.
The crazy thing for you is a lot of the guys ranked in front of you or even behind you have been able to play a lot of games. They've been in AU this past summer. They've been doing all this kind of stuff. You haven't been able to play too much, so people truly don't know who you are yet. What do you want to show to people when you get back on that court in January, February time? What do you want to show people?
I just want to show people the difference from me freshman year to now, and like all the hard hours, early mornings, late nights I put in working on myself, both on and off the court. Um, I just want to show that I've just been improving everything that all my inefficiencies that I had last year, like if it was like not being as strong as I should have been, all the things like that. I just wanted to show my improvement.
Last year was kind of a year where you decided to go to school where you weren't necessarily the go-to guy right away. You kind of got a little bit of a smaller role, and then you blew up all of a sudden, and you really started playing at a high level. But you had a lot of veterans on the team, a lot of leaders on that team. What went into that decision? Why did you decide to go take a role where you might not be the superstar, be able to develop one of those guys?
Because I feel like that was the perfect position for me to really learn the game and learn how to play against those top guys. Because everybody that was on the team last year has experience playing against in those big games and the best guys all around the world. So I feel like it was a learning point, and I'm big on like in practice, like practice playing against better players in practice. It helps me with my development and my confidence, like when the game comes around.
That's something I know a lot of freshmen don't like doing. They like to go be the star of the freshman year and maybe go to another prep route or something after that. But like I said, you're in
Mhm.
that place. You're playing against guys like Cliff. You're playing against guys like CJ. You're playing all the different top guys. What are some of the biggest things you learned throughout those practices?
Biggest things I learned, think that I have to like just be myself and not like just play my game and not have to rush, not try to rush and do anything that's like I find gaps to get myself a basket or my teammates a basket,
Mhm.
and just like I don't know how to say it, but like kind of just play, and I'll be able to like learn different things to use in game situations that I practice on in practice that we work on in practice.
Before we head into this upcoming season, let's talk a little bit last year because there was one special player on the team with you, CJ, your brother, and we always know that when brothers team up, it's always one of the most memorable times for you guys. Obviously, it was a great year with you
Mhm.
two. So, what was that like playing alongside your brother?
Um, it was amazing. He's my favorite teammate ever, to be honest, because he's the one. He's really the reason why I really enjoy basketball. If you want to be honest, like looking at him work and work and work, and like that just drove me, especially like during this season. I seen like his like throughout his high school career how he was really like restricted and wasn't able to do anything really. But then when he came to our RC, he was able to be him and be free. And and throughout the season, he was able to. He taught me a lot, like the game, like the speeches before the game, speeches after the game, talking to me about like mental things coming into the game, like how to play the game, all that stuff. So playing with him was one in a million.
That's the thing that some people don't know about CJ, and a lot of people know that yes, he can shoot, he can score, he's a great player, but really what he brings off the court too, that leadership, both on the court too, that leadership, but just being that locker room guy, guys that guys can go to, talk to, leads the team. He's not there anymore. Who do you kind of expect kind of fill in that role? Do you see yourself more becoming a bigger leader in the locker room? Who do you see kind of fill in that role next year?
Um, I say that me and Corey have to fill in that role because we're the new captains on the team. So I feel like me and Corey would have to fill in the role to help all the like some of the players that moved up from JV to varsity, and even some of the newer guys that came on to the team during the off season. For like since we've been there for me, this is my second year, and Corey, this being his third year. Kind of you could say like a vet, so to say, at RC. But and we just want to let everybody know like how he plays, how coach coaches, like what he expects, and especially like things like don't get down, not getting down on yourself when things don't go your way, because that's what I struggled with last year, and CJ and Niles and all those guys were able to help me like get better throughout the year.
Now you really got hot more towards the middle of the season, then you pushed on throughout there where you really started blowing up, becoming a critical component to that roster. But your first points came off an assist from CJ. Take us to that play.
So before I got in the game, I was talking to Josh Rivera. He goes to St. Thomas Aquinas now. I was talking to him. I was like, "Yo, I feel like I'm gonna catch a dunk this game." He was like, "Why you say that?" I was like, "I don't know. I just feel it." So we get in. So I get in, and first play, I make a pass to CJ. He throws it to Cliff, and Cliff dunks it. But then it was a rebound. The Trent Catholic takes it to shoot a rebound, and I was already at half court because I was trying to like leak out, because I knew one of them were gonna get the board, and luckily CJ got it, and I was running perfect position. And he just threw it. I just dunked it, and that was like that was my first bucket, and that's definitely my favorite bucket that I've had since I started playing.
I know your fan was going crazy in the video, and that's like you said, something you're not going to forget. Your first point coming off an assist from your brother. What did you guys talk about after that happened? Did you guys start kind of celebrating after the next time out, after the game? How did you see NC
Nah,
that?
we definitely celebrated. We celebrated during the game because right after the dunk, I believe a timeout was called, and we definitely celebrated in the huddle. Definitely celebrated in the huddle.
This upcoming year, you're going to get a lot more dunks, a lot more points. Like I said, you and Core really two vocal points of this roster. How do you plan to be able to become that guy? The guy that's going to probably score majority of the points, you and Corey. How do you plan to take on that role?
Um, I feel like I'm 100% ready for that. That's what I've been working to do. Like working on like when we were on quarantine, it's working on like becoming that guy who can score and facilitate and like play defense too. So I've just been. I feel like that's gonna be that's what I've been working on. So like everything's gonna fall into place. Um, and we have some other kids on our team that can really go too. So I don't feel like it's gonna be that hard for me and Corey to be the main people in scoring.
Did an interview with SI a little bit ago, and you mentioned you want to average a triple double this year, and not just with points, rebounds, and assists or something. You want steals to be in that category as well. How do you plan to be able to up that defensive end?
Um, I feel like just taking pride in not allowing the other team to score. Like using heart. Like defense is all about heart. Like because you can move your feet. It's just if you choose to or not. And like so that's not going to be hard because I feel like I play good defense now, but it can always be upped. So I've been working on I've been working on that too. So.
I want to ask you about long term because you are a guy that, yes, you're ranked in top 10, but I feel like your ceiling is so much higher. No one really knows exactly where you're going to go. You've already only grown 2 inches in this past quarantine time. You're continuing to grow. You continue to have higher and higher ceiling. So where do you see yourself panning out? By the time you get to college or even past that, what kind of player, what kind of position do you see yourself really becoming?
I feel like I'm gonna be a superstar. I don't want to just go in the league because a lot of players just get to the league and they don't really pan out or they don't really have longevity in the league. But I want to be the one who can get to the league, stay in the league, and become somebody's favorite player.
How do you do that?
Just working, bettering myself on and off, because people pay attention about antics on and off. If it's on social media, if it's like everybody's watching at all time. So it's being the best person I could be,
That's not always
really.
easy. We see always the social media aspect gets a lot of guys really going down the wrong path at times, focusing too much on that. And you also being ranked now is going to put a target on your back. How do you deal with all this? You step back on that court now, you're a lot more well known. Everyone knows you're an elite player. How do you deal with that target on your back?
I don't really pay much mind to it. I just be myself and just play to the best of my abilities. I don't really try to like sit there and be like, oh, if I do this, I don't think they're gonna like that. Or I'll just do me, to be honest. But and like I don't really try to, because if you constantly think about it, it becomes like pressure, like extra pressure on you, and that's not really a good way to play, because then you're thinking about other things, and you're thinking more than you should be. When you're playing, you should just be free. It's all about instinct. So when you have something that's clouding your mind like that, I don't. It's not a very good way to play, and it will probably slow down your performance.
Couldn't agree more. And I know a lot of guys always discuss that seeing rankings, seeing offers, all this stuff can get to your mind sometimes. Did someone kind of teach you that mindset? Was it someone like coach or a player or even your family that taught you that? Or you just kind of self-develop that mindset and realize that it's not that important and just focus on your craft and your game?
My parents, I say my dad, my mom, and CJ,
Mhm.
because um because like the offers and everything, the rankings are cool and all that stuff, but like I could be ranked and have all these offers now, but then later on they could be gone, not end up at like a Essex County College or a community college or something like that. And nobody wants that. So I kind of like just keep level headed and know that the work's not done. There's always room to improve.
I mentioned a little bit ago you had 2 inch growth spurt. You're now around 6'5", maybe even taller than that. How do you plan to use this height in the upcoming season?
Um, this height, because I feel like I can use it, especially by playing the point guard. Uh, there's gonna be a lot of smaller guards, so I can use my size and just go to work like that. And also, being taller than a smaller guard can help me like see my vision and all that stuff. Like I have a clear sight over, and it will just expand my game more than it's going to be, and I'll be able to guard more positions. Like not just be able to guard like one or two. I could guard three, maybe even a four at times if I have to.
I had Corey on a few months ago, and he discussed your two duo now, and I've talked about it a few times that you two really are going to be the two focal points of this team this year. But how special is this dynamic duo? What can Simeon Corey duo do this year?
Me and Corey, we're gonna try to lead our team to win whatever state championship we have. Due to COVID, like it's not gonna be as a full season, but we're gonna try to go undefeated, and I feel like we can do that. I feel like we can do that.
Off the court is as important on the court. And I know you value academics. You really focus in on the watching in the classroom as well. Give you that priority.
My parents, because they always like you can't put basketball before school, because they go hand in hand. Like if you don't have like the grades or anything, you can't do anything.
Mhm.
Because you could be ineligible or stuff like that. If it's the time for you to go to college, you can't get into a college because, oh, you were messing around in these last couple of years and your GPA is low or stuff like that. So I always try to put school and then basketball. So I try to kind of take pride in doing like all my assignments and all that stuff, so I can stay on top of my grades, so I could go perform when the time comes.
Without a doubt. Now, I want to get into your recruiting process, and that's something that's blown up too for you. Offers all over the table, some of the biggest schools like KU, a lot of the high major schools right now. But who are you hearing from the most? Who are you talking to the most?
As of right now, I haven't really been speaking to coaches, but the last coaches I talked to were Kansas and UConn. The last schools I talked to were Kansas and UConn.
Now you are still a while away until you get into this really heavy recruiting process, but what do you ultimately want in college? When it comes time to decide your school, what are you looking for? What do you want in college?
Um, I'm looking for like a perfect fit. Perfect fit. Like I fit into their I fit into their system, and their system fits like my style of play. And I'm also looking for academics too.
I imagine also the coach would be a big impact in that. And a lot of guys always all have the different tastes in terms of what coach is the best fit, the best coach for them. What would make up your dream coach? What kind of play style do you want him to have? What kind of personality type? What kind of would make up your dream coach?
My dream coach. I haven't really thought about that one yet. Yeah, I haven't really thought about that, but I say a coach that pushes us, like always wants us to be better, always wants to be great. Um, Coach that explains the game and explains the game to everybody, gives details all about all the stuff, and allows us to play in a like to play free but in structure. If you know if that makes any sense. But also uh coach that um like he's tough on us, like not being like overbearing, but like he's a tough guy who doesn't want anything else but to win, and doesn't want his team or anybody on his staff to do anything but succeed.
As you mentioned, your ultimate goal isn't just go to college. You want to play in the NBA. You want to have a successful career in the NBA. So when you're looking at colleges, will a program that has done well with guards, that have got guys to go to the NBA 1 or 2 years, will that impact your recruiting at all?
Yes. That has a big impact in my recruiting, in my choosing of where I will go to school. That has a big impact.
I want to touch upon a couple different schools. One of them, as you mentioned, KU. Clearly, they're a blue blood. We know they're historical, one of the best programs year in, year out. But just talking to Coach Self and the coaching staff, what do they call KU?
They wanted like since I'm young and I still have time in high school. They just want to build a relationship with me and build a relationship with me, so they get to know me and I get to know them during as time goes on.
You have always offers on the table, and a lot of sophomores, especially ones that have dealt with this whole pandemic, have not got the chance to get these many offers. But was there one during this past few months that you found out you got an offer from and was really kind of shocking to you?
Kansas is the one. Kansas and Oregon were the ones that were shocking me. Super shocking.
What was your reaction and when did you find out you got those offers?
Um, my dad and my AU coach, or my AU director, Coach Munch, he came to me and said it. Came to me and said that you were offered by Oregon and Kansas, and those two were like, wow factor to me.
As for Oregon, they're another great program. They're obviously clearly on the other side of the country from you, but that's just really a historic kind of program that always a top two. Pac-12, what do you like about them and just what they kind of built the culture-wise up there?
Um, I like how like it's like run and gun. Like it's just down. I like to like when I play. I like to run. Like to run, and they play free. Like I said, they play free, but they have a structure to their free play. I like watching that. And also, my dad went to school in Portland,
Mm-hmm.
so it in Portland. So it's kind of like, and I have family out there, so it's kind of I like that a lot, to be honest.
I think a lot of people, especially this past year with the pandemic, have kind of realized how important family is to them and how kind of good it is being around family. Would going somewhere where if it's
Mhm.
staying home in New Jersey, if it's staying somewhere near New Jersey, you said Oregon, you have family, or anyone else you have kind of family at, is that something that might appeal to you?
Yes, yeah, that would be good for me because Like I just know that there's some people besides the coaches and my teammates that like are there for me at any time, and that plays a big role for me.
Last one I want to touch up on is also you mentioned first too, UConn. Really, I really like seeing what Coach built there. He's continued to bring in more and more top prospects, made the big move back to the Big East. I think they're gonna have a bright future now in the next few years. What I like what Coach Hurley's built out there now.
UConn's looking very well, very very good as of lately. Very very good, very very good. And I like how they allow their I like how they allow their guards to just go. They allow their guards to just go, and I like how they just let their guards just go and be themselves, play their game, not try to take them out of what they do best.
Absolutely. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One is that you've mentioned obviously what kind of player you see yourself becoming, but are there players you might compare yourself to, or even guys that you watch that you kind of take pieces from and put into your game?
I watch John Morant.
Mhm.
I watch him a lot, and I watch. It's old, but I watch Penny Hardaway too. Watch his highlights too because he was a bigger guard. He was a bigger guard that was able to do everything: pass, play defense, dunk on people, shoot, everything.
Without a doubt. Well, one thing I was like wrapping up discussing is your legacy. I think all guys want to build that legacy for themselves. So when that time does come someday and you obviously step away from the game and eventually, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court?
I want my legacy to be person who loves help others, and also want to be somebody who like people look up to, like a role model for others. Like if that's giving back to the homeless or feeding the less fortunate, or if it's like building like something like LeBron, like building a school for kids in his community or in his hometown, or like building a rec center. That was what my parents and I have been talking about a lot. Like when I get to that point, I'll come back home and rebuild the rec center so kids can have somewhere to go after schools, or if they need a meal or something. Of
That's awesome, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today, and I look forward to what God got next for you, man. Of
course. Thank you. Thank you for having me on here.
course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
God bless you too.